understand that very well. But let's move on to number 5 on the Channel 1 count. At a point in time, this song was number 1 for like 7 weeks, but it has dropped to number 5. And I'm talking about XLO.
Citi 97.3. Accra.
94, 95, 96. 97.3 Citi FM. It doesn't get any better than that.
Detailed news, unparalleled coverage. Citi News on 97.3 FM.
Eyewitness News. Be there as it happens.
Citi News.
Hello, good evening. Welcome to Eyewitness News, coming to you live from our studios here in Accra. My name is Selom Adonu. Tonight I'm here with Say that again. Great. And coming up over the next 90 minutes.
Myself and my team want to pull up because lives are threatened. I don't think I can protect my team enough.
Agyapong withdraws from the MPP's thank you tour, citing security threats to his supporters. Is it time to pull the brakes on the tour? Meanwhile, he serves notice of his intention to contest the party's flag bearership for the 2028 general elections. Also on Eyewitness News.
Until Director General of GTech reverses this unjust decision, Ghana, KNUST local hereby declare an indefinite strike.
KNUST chapter of the Tertiary Education Workers Union of Ghana, TEWU-GH, declares indefinite strike from today over the selection of another group, TEWU-TUC, to serve on the university's governing council. They say they feel sidelined. Still on Eyewitness News, former National Signals Bureau boss, Kwabena Dubuahin, is being charged for stealing 49 million cedis. Meanwhile, Attorney General Dr. Dominic Ayeni is set to address the media on a wide range of issues soon. We will take you to the event live when it starts. Stay with 97.3 Citi FM for more on this and other stories. And in business,
new GRA board to urge to introduce innovative ways to mobilize revenue.
There is more business in the next 50 minutes. Eyewitness News is live across the country on all our affiliates and around the globe at citinewsroom.com. In the Western region, this is Premier 100.5 FM, Beach 105.5 FM, and Sky 93.5 FM, all in Takrad. In the Bono region, Greener 95.9 FM in Sunyani. In the Ahafo region, this is Hames Radio 106.5 in Goso. In the Ashanti region, this is Orange 107.9 FM in Kumasi. In the Volta region, Akpini Radio 96.7 megahertz in Bandu and Heritage 107.3 FM in Hohoi. In the northern region, this is Dasuma 99.1 FM in Yendi and Wed 88.3 FM in Zwarungu in the Upper East region. In the Upper West region, this is Westlink 88.1 FM in Laura and Eagle 94.1 FM in Wale Wale in the northeast region. Your comments are welcome via WhatsApp line 0549 986 996. You can follow me on X at Selom. I don't know the hashtag, as always, is Citi Newsroom. Eno gives us our very first story.
Former Member of Parliament for Asin Central, Agyapong, has officially withdrawn from the New Patriotic Party's ongoing thank you tour, citing security threats to his supporters. His decision follows a stabbing incident involving a student, reportedly a member of Unity Hall Jama Group, who had received money from Mr. Agyapong after performing at an event held at the Pentecost Church in Bantama in Kumasi. The student was rushed to the emergency unit of the Komfanoshi Teaching Hospital and is currently receiving treatment. Speaking to the media, Mr. Agyapong said he is stepping away from the tour and has pledged to seek justice for the victim.
What happened yesterday, I want to pull out, or myself and my team want to pull out, because lives are threatened. I don't think I can protect my team enough. So we want out so that Dr. Bawumia can do his campaign tour. I admit that he was the flag bearer. So if he's going round and for the sake of unity, he invites it and it turns out to be something different, we just have to stay away for them to do their own thing. So in brief, all I'm saying is my team is pulling out, but I still call for unity in the party. This will not scare me to leave the party. We built the party from 1990 till now. So as for intimidation, they should rest assured that intimidation will not help them. I'm not somebody you can intimidate for me to stay out of the party. I'm still a party member. I'm calling for unity. But I'll make sure justice is done to the student who was hurt.
He also announced his intentions to run as a presidential candidate for the New Patriotic Party, contesting in the party's primaries.
But what happened at Brekum? I needed to check Abronye for him to stop whatever he's doing. There is a clear indication from Brekum to Kumasi tells me that, look, you are not needed, you are not wanted. So we are pulling out. Let them do their own thing. And at an appropriate time, I assure them that we are also going to campaign. I want everybody to know, every party member to know that I'm going to contest. Until they should be ready. And respectfully, nobody can tell me to back off. I will not back off because we started from 1990 till now. So in short,
you heard former Member of Parliament for Asin Central, Kennedy Agyapong.
Eyewitness News on 97.3 Citi FM, and the MPP campaign tour continues. But of course, as you just heard, Kennedy Agyapong is pulled out. Let's speak to Kwesi Kwarteng, who is a member of the Kennedy Agyapong camp or team. He joins us on the line. Hello, Kwesi. Good evening. Welcome to Eyewitness News. Talk to us about the stabbing incident that your boss says is one of the reasons why he's leaving or withdrawing from the tour.
Good evening to you and your listeners. As we are all aware, yesterday we reported an unfortunate incident that resulted in the stabbing of a student supporter of Honorable Kennedy Agyapong at Bantama Pentecost when he came to the premises or the auditorium to also support Honorable Kennedy Agyapong. And based on that incident, he has indicated that looking at all the circumstances, he is at the moment unable to guarantee the safety of his other team members. Because look, if ordinary student supporters who are not even core members of his team are facing this fate, then certainly it gives cause for alarm and concern. And on that basis, he is of the view that in the interest of the safety of his team members, even in the broader interest of peace that he's spoken about, of the party, and of course, unity, he is of the view that if his continuous involvement or participation in the ongoing or process will cause any inconvenience, impediment, or more or less a threat to any other person or even the entire process, he is of the opinion that it is only proper and wise that he take a step back and allow the process to continue. And that is exactly what he's done.
How is the student, faring? We understand he's in the hospital or he's at the hospital. Is he still there or has he been discharged? What's the situation with him?
Yeah, today we've been there on 2 occasions with the Honorable Kennedy Agyapong, and the report that we got from the hospital management is that he is very stable and he's in a stable condition responding to treatment. So from that account, I can say that he is responding to treatment and recovering so well.
Very well. But, is this really about the campaign or the tour? Because we understand that the chaos occurred when Kennedy Agyapong gave money to the Jama boys he went for, or Jama boys who came from KNUST to make the place lively. So it was not necessarily, as far as we are told, related to the campaign. These are students who just came to they came to sing and as we say, Jama and all of that, and they were giving money. So in the process of sharing the money, I'm sure there was chaos, and in the midst of that chaos, somebody was stabbed. Why won't you treat this as an isolated incident, treat it as a criminal incident, rather than connecting it to the matters on the tour?
Well, first of all, I am not sure anybody is not treating this as a criminal incident. But the facts remain unchanged and the facts remain clear. And it is undeniable fact that, first of all, these are students who came to support the Honorable Kennedy Agyapong. But if we indeed want to ascertain the truth in this, for me, we should ask the relevant question. People have been accusing me of having twisted or strained the facts. But I'm happy that at least with your platform, I have the opportunity to also explain the facts. Let nobody misrepresent the issues or mislead the issues. First of all, these are students who are adults and in the university, and obviously has the capacity to analyze issues and even take evidence. They are very smart guys. Interestingly, yesterday during the stabbing incident, they were able to take the picture of the gentleman who stabbed the student. Again, they were also able to take even the car number of the vehicle that these guys use. Even to the extent that they took the picture of the suspect to the police. But I want to state on record, at least for the avoidance of doubt and purposes of clarity, that it is not a case of a disagreement between two students. It is a case of a mature man stabbing a student. And these are the facts. The facts are that the students came in, displayed, sang. At some point, people felt that they were taking so much time and decided to ask them to go and take their seat, of which they reluctantly declined. Subsequently, after we left the place, we heard of the stabbing incident. And, thankfully, I had the opportunity to follow the students to the police station. And the narrative and the account that they gave was that when they were opposed for displaying, at that time, the same gentleman who stabbed them is the same gentleman who had then displayed a gun to them, showed them a gun when they opposed or resisted to the calls for them to go and sit down. So, yes, even though it was a monetary issue, don't let us also make it that the monetary issue or the monetary dispute or disagreement was not between two students. It was not even Kennedy Agyapong who gave the students the money. This was just a supporter of Kennedy Agyapong, one Maxi, he's a car dealer in Kumasi, who gave an amount of 1,000 cedis to those students to share. Then, right after giving the money to the students, the metro men who had earlier on confronted the students approached them or confronted them once again, snatched the money, obviously with the intent of creating a scene, and then have a basis or justification to carry out whatever, criminality that they want to pursue. When they snatched the money, the students protested, which led to the metro men who were already sitting in the Toyota Haze white car parked, shooting. They shot, according to the students in the narrative or account that they gave at the police station, they gave about 7 warning shots. And even the students fled away. Even at the expense of fleeing away, these guys still chased them and subsequently or succeeded in stabbing one of the students. When people are talking about they were fighting over money, the question then has to arise. The dispute or the fight over money was between which people and what and who? Logically, it won't be reasonable for about 50 to 60 students to come, one stab the other, and up to now, the students will pretend that they don't know their colleague who stabbed the other student. So
you said you have a picture of the gentleman who stabbed
they took it to the police station.
Has he been arrested now? Have you? So is this somebody? Have you seen the picture?
I've seen it myself.
Is this somebody you know? Is this somebody you know?
No, he's not somebody I've met before.
What is your intelligence telling you? Is it connected to any of the camps of the party?
To be fair, I've always maintained that one, I'm a lawyer and I understand how these things work. Two, I must also admit that, first of all, I'm a member of the MBP before I even joined Kennedy Agyapong's camp. And if I don't apply these things with tact and wisdom, essentially, ultimately, I'll be destroying the image of my party, which I won't do that. Let me state on record that throughout the tour, I was part of the tour from its inception. That throughout the tour, I never saw these guys. So they were not part of any camp or any team throughout the tour. And of course, I am unable to even confirm or ascertain that their coming was on the invitation of Camp A or Camp B. But reasonably, it won't make sense for, say, the camp of Kennedy Agyapong to invite Metro men, then to come and stab their own supporters. And to be fair, I don't even also want to cast any aspersions that, let's say, the camp of any other person, let's say Dr. Baumia or any other person will do that. But we must also be ready to admit that supporters or followers of candidates or politically exposed persons sometimes can go extreme. And we should be very open to also admitting that the fact that the supporter commits a crime does not mean that the leader was the one who sanctions him. When we do that, we're missing the real issues. But bottom line is that I want to state clearly on your platform that the fight did not ensue between the students as it's been spun around and made to look like school students were fighting. No. It was Metro men who had earlier had some confrontation with the students who came to perform for the Honorable Kennedy Agyapong, and subsequently had to create a scene, targeted them, and stabbed them. So if anybody suggests that it was just an altercation between two students, I bet to differ.
But it could also be an outsider, just an agent provocateur, somebody perhaps not connected to anything, just a bad person who infiltrated the camps. So the question then becomes, why do you withdraw from a key party event to foster unity because of an agent provocateur or somebody who might not even be related to anything? Why? It appears you wanted to leave anyway, and so you were looking for the least opportunity to hang it on, and you found one.
You see, all these tests that we are doing, one of the variables to ascertain the truth is logical consistency. I don't think any Metro men will pack themselves in a Toyota Haze, drive, take arms or guns, take knives, and ordinarily come and pack a Citi FM to do what? If they have not been invited for it to undertake any activity or any exercise. And I also don't think that the Metro men even envisage that at the end of the day, the students were going to be given money, for which reason they will wait and anticipate or hope that the students are giving money for them to go and snatch, which will then result in the altercation.
So what's your suspicion? Your suspicion is that they were invited to the event by somebody, by another camp. And so when they came, they perhaps they were briefed and they were told what to do, maybe to silence another camp. And they got an opportunity and did so. Is that your suspicion?
Well, I don't want to call it suspicion, but these are the facts that they were there. And
on whose invitation?
If you listen to Honorable Kennedy Agyapong, he mentioned one Ali Suraj who brought them.
So who is Ali Suraj in the scheme of things?
I don't know him. I don't know him. I'm just referencing what the Honorable Kennedy Agyapong said.
The Honorable Kennedy Agyapong should know the Suraj guy and which camp he's affiliated
to. I am sure he can be able to give further details to him. But the point is that these are guys who came there, had confrontation with these students, and subsequently, engage them in that brutal and condemnable act which resulted in the stabbing. So even in law, we talk about circumstantial evidence, where at the end of the day, you are able to connect the dots. It can't be a coincidence that you had a confrontation that won't allow you to display. You show them a gun in the midst in the auditorium, and subsequently they had misunderstanding with you. Subsequently, you go snatch their money, and the only thing we hear is that one of them has been stabbed, even at a point where they were fleeing for their lives. So for me, the most important point for me is one to set the record straight.
Is the Ali Siraj gentleman, the affiliate or an affiliate of a former Nasara coordinator? Is it a person? Is that a guy we're referring to?
Let me state that I don't want to speculate, but I know Honorable Kennedy Agyapong mentioned his name during his press conference, but I don't want to speculate. If I get more information about him, I'm sure I should be able to share with the public. But I mean, even at this level, it has more to do with the police. But he's a gentleman that the Honorable Kennedy Agyapong referenced him as having brought those guys. And he said it on record when he did his press conference. But for me...
And Ali Suraj is a former national coordinator of your party. Is that not a fact?
I cannot confirm as of now.
You cannot confirm that Ali Suraj was a national coordinator of your party.
To be very honest, I don't know.
And can you also confirm that he is one of the operation coordinators of Dr. Bawumia?
To be very honest, I do not know him.
I see.
I do not know him, but I mean, you may do your own check. But like I indicated, that was what the Honorable Kennedy Agyapong pointed out. For me, like I indicated, the most pivotal point that we want to put across is that, one, if you are unable to guarantee the safety of ordinary supporters, we are of the strong conviction that it is better to stay out and allow the process to continue until we get to a level where we'll be able to guarantee the safety of our supporters, particularly the core team members.
Very well. It does also appear that this was just the tipping point. It had been building up. So your boss, Kennedy Agyapong, referenced the incident at Brekum, where he mentioned Abronye and all of that, and that he had to respond to him. So that kind of commentary or talk stops on the tour. So we saw or heard what Kennedy Agyapong said, and also what the regional chairman of the party, Abronye DC, said. So it's been building, and it does appear that even right from day one, when Dr. Bawumia made the point that on the campaign people said things against people, which the opposition then, the NDC, in the lead up to the election was playing back, weakening your party. People realized or thought he was speaking directly to Kennedy Agyapong. Kennedy Agyapong was in that meeting. It does appear that the sentiments had been brewing and growing right from there. The Abronye DC matter also added to it, and now the security concern is become the icing on the cake, and that tipped the decision. Is that correct?
Yeah, first of all, I am of the opinion that even that platform was not proper for those remarks, because if we are talking about thanking people, usually it just holds three key variables. You apologize for your wrongs, you take responsibility for everything, whether good or bad, and then you express gratitude to them for standing by you. But when you make the other people feel that is a platform for aligning them, I mean, certainly they have a recourse to, also be dissatisfied. But I don't want to necessarily connect the two. At least for the record, the Honorable Kennedy Agyapong has indicated that he has to make sure that this guy who has been stabbed fully recovers, and obviously spoke also about ensuring that the supreme interest of the party, which has to be with the unity and harmony of the party, also becomes paramount.
That's fair. Your boss also said that this was a campaign tour. Did he mean to say campaign tour, or he wanted to say thank you tour? Because it's a thank you tour. Does he think that the thank you tour has become a campaign tour of Dr. Bawumia?
Well, that one, you have all heard some of the remarks by Dr. Bawumia when he was on the trail. And those ones, I leave it to the jury out there. Whether that is how we thank people or that can be construed as a...
People think that the tour is losing its significance. So you pull the brakes and call it off, at least for now. What do you think, or what does your team think?
Yes, for Kennedy Agyapong, in terms of the variable of security, he is of the view that it's compromised. And on that level or on that account, he is of the view that it is proper for him to pull out.
Why did he have to announce his intention to contest the next flag bearership election now? Is it not too early? The party is seeking to rebuild. people are hurt and all of that. Is this a time to declare this intention? And he says nobody can stand in his way. Nobody can stop him. Is anybody trying to stop him?
Yeah, first of all, I mean, it is an open secret. It is an obvious fact that all of us knows the people that will be contesting or have interest in contesting in the future. Maybe we want to play the ostrich game, but I'm also minded of the rules of the party. But for that, he plays it or situated within a certain context. And the context was that if these security threats to his supporters and people is designed to cow him into not contesting or intimidate him into not contesting, then he was going to disappoint them with the news of contesting. So the context within which this statement was said was a caveat. There was a caveat of an if clause. That if. So, I mean, assuming this whole incident that happened is not necessarily designed to distract him in his bid to contest, then, I mean, I don't think this should generate any qualms. But if it was designed as such, then he had every right to reiterate that he's not somebody who is a pushover. And in spite of the fact that he still stands for unity and peace, he's fully ready to go out fully in the pursuit of saving this country, of course, through his ambition.
Very well, Kwesi. Thank you so much. I mean, on a lighter note, doesn't mean I'm not seeing you in court anytime soon, or you appear after the thank you tour.
Hopefully next week I'll be in court. Maybe Thursday I'll be in court. Thank you.
Very well. Thank you so much, Kwesi Kwatin, Esquire. He is from the Agyapong team. Now let's speak to the party. The Director of Communications of the New Patriotic Party, Richard Ahiagba, will raise him back on the line and then speak to him. Eyewitness News on 97.3 Citi FM. Now, some news coming in. The President, John Dramani Mahama, has nominated some 7 persons to the Supreme Court. They were justices of appeal, and they've been nominated to the Supreme Court. And this is a letter addressed to the acting Chief Justice, signed by the Secretary to the President, Dr. Callistus Mahama. And it reads, it's headed Nomination of Justices to the Supreme Court of Ghana. Pursuant to Article 1442 of the Constitution of Ghana 1992, His Excellency the President has nominated the following justices of the Court of Appeal to be considered for appointment to the Supreme Court. 1. Justice Sir Dennis Dominic Ejay. 2. Justice GBL Simon Subari. 3. Justice Senyo Jamefe. 4. Justice Kweku Tewia Aka Buafu. 5. Justice Philip Bright Mensah. 6. Justice Jana Pari Battels Kojo. 7. Justice Hafisata Amaleboba. Attached are the curriculum vitae, of course, and then please accept assurances of my highest consideration. Attention, the Lord Chief Justice Paul Bafo Boni, Vice President copied, Chief of Staff copied. So that is the breaking news we have for you. The President has nominated 7 persons to the Supreme Court, 7 justices of appeal to the Supreme Court. Now let's get back to the story on the MPP thank you tour. Richard Ahiagba, Director of Communications of the MPP, joins us on the line. Hello, Richard. Good evening. Welcome to Eyewitness. It does appear that the center is not holding. There appears to be a meltdown. Kennedy Agyapong, a prominent member of your party, is withdrawn from the thank you tour. This should obviously not be good news for you. What do you say?
So, good evening and good evening to your listeners. I think that we're making a big deal out of the withdrawal of Kennedy Agyapong from the thank you tour. The thank you tour, in essence, is a National Council idea, which is the second highest body, decision-making body of the party. This decision enjoins all members of the party to uphold it, to defend it, and to act accordingly. And so all our members are required to be part of this tour. Agyapong was on the tour not as a presidential aspirant or anything, but as a member of the party. Just as I would be on it, other people, Agyapong and the rest of those who are party members who could join. And so if for reasons of what happened yesterday, and I think we should commend Ken in his statement saying that it is in the interest of party unity, he feels that removing himself from the tour would allow for the tour to achieve its original purpose, which was to go out there and thank our party people and Ghanaians for the confidence they reposed in us, for the efforts that was put in for our victory, which unfortunately didn't happen, as a basis for us to go back again in 2020 to canvass for their support. So the appreciation tour, which we're on, I think that should not be, nothing should detract from that. And I think his decision to withdraw, I think is a noble one, that he finds that his presence there is not helping, is leading to some tension that are avoidable if he is no longer on the tour. I think we ought to commend him for that. The principal thing we're out there to do is getting mired in all these conversations, because otherwise you should be calling me for us to talk about how great the ambience has been that I have witnessed when I was in Western region. It was a fanfare, the party was alive, people were excited to be spending time with party elders, the flag bearer, and all the party leaders that were there. And so I think Ken ought to be commended for seeing the potential danger and distraction if he continues to be on the tour. I think that it was an act in service to the party.
This is withdrawal, not a reflection of the cracks in your party, because he has a following, and once he's withdrawn, it does appear that his followers will do same, and his followers obviously will not be happy about what he has complained about. That surely is not.
The New Patriotic Party is a one party. There are no factions in the NPP. Yes, and at your workplace you may roll with some people more than others, but it doesn't mean that you are the reason they come to work for Citi. Okay, people join the party for their own reasons. Any alliances that are formed in the party are secondary to the essence of joining the party. My will to join the New Patriotic Party is not because I want to serve anybody, it's because I want to serve the larger purpose of the New Patriotic Party. So nobody can claim that they own any piece of the party. Yes, people may like you, people may want to support you, but it doesn't mean that if you are not there, they won't support the New Patriotic Party. The New Patriotic Party is who we all are serving. We're not serving individuals, we're serving the New Patriotic Party. So I think that Honorable Ken appreciates that. And in leaving, the message he left behind as he withdraws, I think is very instructive to say that for the furtherance of party unity, is moving himself from the tour will add to the unity objective of the tour. And I think that's commendable.
The gentleman who was stabbed in Kumasi, has the party visited him? What is the party doing about him? Has the party spoken to him, visited him? Have you done anything like that? Hello?
Honest, can you hear me?
Yes, yes, I can hear you now.
The honest efforts are put to ensure that the man's health is not affected adversely, and that whatever has happened.
Richard, your line is acting up, so I don't know why your line is acting up. If you could repeat it. I think Richard's line is acting up. We'll reach him on a better line. Eyewitness News on 97.3 Citi FM. A number of your messages have been coming through. This one from Nuja Bright in Nottinghamshire in United Kingdom says a party that cannot put its house in order wants to rule over 32 million Ghanaians just because President Akufo-Addo came to lower the standards. I urge MPP to take 45 years break from contesting any national election until we Ghanaians are convinced that they are prepared for governance. MPP never again, you say. This Babamu from Tamale says, I think we should be mindful about speech. I was surprised when Kwesi Kwarteng published what you call false information about yesterday happening in Bantama. It was very unfortunate, you say. Yes, Richard is back on the line. So Richard, I mean, there are concerns that the thank you tour may not be achieving its purpose. Indeed, Boache Jack and others think that you need to call this off, re-strategize, and redirect your path, because this is not happening. I mean, it's not what they expect. Indeed, Agyapong himself called this a campaign tour of Dr. Bawumia. Clearly, this doesn't appear to be achieving its purpose. Hello, Richard.
Yes, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, I'm saying that this.
No, I think Richard's line is problematic. Richard, we'll continue this interview at a later date. But Richard Ayangba is the Director of Communications of the New Patriotic Party. Let me continue reading some of your messages. Gastiman in Brekum says the earlier report by Kwesi Kwarteng about the stabbing incident was misleading. That's why there is disaffection. Okay, he said he must be cautioned from such propaganda, else it's causing division than unity. This one from Evans Bin Samba in Laura says the NPP is becoming a threat to the peace of this country. The earlier we all condemn this culture of theirs, the better. I'm surprised that the party has not issued a public statement as of now. I would not be surprised to see Ken begin a parallel tour in the coming days. This one says the moment Ken Agyapong mentioned Alan Chairmantin and Paul Afoko's names, I knew something fishy was going to happen. You are stabbing your party member because of his affiliation to Ken, and you want someone like me to come and follow Dr. Bawumia and vote for him if he stands for power? So that as Akasokri Joseph Bongo. Oga says it's very unfortunate how a vibrant young man of our party was stabbed, and instead of leadership being apologetic, they are rather giving disgusting excuses, you say. Mausi Ayebi I-Star from Abuja 13 in the Volta region says, we stand with Ken Agyapong in withdrawing from the MPP's thank you tour by the MPP. The stabbing of the student supporter is deeply troubling and demands justice, not celebration. Unity must be built on respect and safety, not fear. So another defeat for the MPP looms come 2028. Akate Raymond from Agoti Mekpeto says, MPP wallowing in the state of confusion. This is as a result of desperation. The MPP, okay, this one from Honorable Ayuba from Agyapong says the MPP should come clear about the stabbing incident in their so-called thank you tour and stop misleading Ghanaians about it. In any case, what are they thanking Ghanaians for? All right, and then the Gaddafi in Yellow Krobo says the current MPP are a group of people. Okay, you say you're asking how they can embark on a thank you tour and all of that. I see. Aziz Donla in Wa said the stabbing of the student during the MPP thank you tour certainly isn't going to help our democracy. Clearly, the alternative is scary, destructive, dangerous, and harmful to our democracy. Jones Adoboinla says we aren't seeing anything yet. We pray God protect them. A clear outcome of arrogance of power. It's a congrats to Alfred Osni and Yete MC nominee for La. This from Zone in Accra says, MPP, why are you doing this to yourselves? Allow Ken Agyapong to run the show. We want leaders who will be truthful at all times. If you want to lead a country with manufactured lies at this time, I am afraid Dr. Bawumia, together with assistant executives, must leave the scene. Eyewitness News on 97.3 Citi FM. I'll take a short break. I will return and tell you more. Don't go away.
Eyewitness News. Be there as it happens.
Oh, jump on now. Go. Google me. I want time where you come back where I don't hear the sound of your car. Why you buy new car? No, I not change my car. It be the same ride. It be the fuel where I change. Way one shouts it. Ever since I started using the all-new Excellium Premium Fuel, fortified with 3-in-1 action. Oh, Joe, now my car they run like electric car. No, it's so. This is the type of fuel where they want to. Because now engine they cost. Where they want for where if I buy it, go protect my engine. And with the small way I buy, I go drive, sir. Absolutely. It's like strapping a turbocharger to your engine and giving it a protector. And what they bust my mind self be the 3-in-1 action. No, Excellium they prevent up to 99% of deposit. It be anti-wear, some be anti-corrosion. Won't pay when I open them. Hey, so where can I find this magical fuel? Just head over to any Total Energy service station and your car will thank you. Hey, then make a finish Magobe fast then rush go Total Energies. My friend, but why you hand the Magobe inside? I give you info. Make a fill the Gobe too small. Go. Excellium is designed to protect your car engine, decrease fuel consumption, and lower CO2 emissions. Don't say fuel, say Excellium. Choose Excellium, choose quality.
Hey, of course. You know we have been friends since childhood, and we always tell each other everything.
Oh, Cynthia, I know that. And that is why you're my best friend.
We even eat together, and I have spare keys to your room. I also know your phone password.
Cynthia, don't I also know your phone password?
Yes, so. But what about your Momo pin?
No way.
Indeed, Akos. Your Momo pin is your secret. Do not share your pin for any reason or give your pin to someone to send cash on your behalf. Davida, never give out your pin or OTP as a means of claiming a so-called promotional prize won. Your pin is like your toothbrush. It only belongs to you. Stay alert.
MTN.
Let your voice be heard on Eyewitness News on Facebook at facebook.com/Citi97.3, Twitter at twitter.com/Citi973, and Instagram at instagram.com/Citi973 with the hashtag Eyewitness News.
Eyewitness News. Be there as it happens.
You're welcome back. Let's do some more stories. The leadership of the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology chapter of the Teachers and Educational Workers Union of Ghana has declared an indefinite strike effective today. The action follows what the union describes as the Ghana Tertiary Education Commission's unjust sidelining of its members from the newly inaugurated KNUST Governing Council. Addressing a news conference at KNUST, Chairman of TEU GH, Charles Arthur, said members have resolved to withdraw their services until the decision is reversed.
Let's go to the phone lines now and speak to the chairman of the Tertiary Education Workers Union of Ghana, TEU GH, for a comment on the happenings. Hello, good evening, sir. Welcome to Eyewitness News. The reason for the strike is that you have been sidelined. Your sister group has been a member of your sister group has been given a place on the governing council, and that makes you so unhappy that you want to withdraw services. Is that correct?
That's correct.
But why will you be unhappy with this, and should this lead to withdrawal of services?
Thank you very much, my brother. Good evening to your listeners. In Ghana here, minority never represent majority. This is very simple. This is well established norm and rules and practices in Ghana. So in a situation where a regulator wants a minority to represent a majority, there will be chaos. Exactly what we found ourselves in KNUST, hence our action.
How long have you been in existence, and how long have they been in existence?
The issue is not how long you are in existence and how long you are not in existence. The issue is that at any time, per the Labour Act 207, legislative instrument 1833, section 10.1, that any time that we have two unions having the same members in an organization, chief labor officer would have to be notified, and then the chief labor officer will then do a verification to determine who has a majority of the members, and that person will be issued with a bargaining certificate. Bargaining certificate has to do with representation. So the issue of you came in 100 years and somebody came in 1 year ago, it doesn't come in. It doesn't come into the equation at all.
Yes, no problem. But I just for the sake of my listeners, we need to know, when were you established and when were they also established? I mean, it's a question of fact.
When they were established, I don't know. When we were established, we came into existence 2nd June 2022. That we came into existence, and I'm saying that the law in Ghana here does not look at when you came into existence.
No problem. We're trying to. No, don't worry. Don't worry. We're just trying to understand the problem. So, does it mean that before you were one body and one, left, or one was hived, one left their group? Is that what
that's
it is?
Correct. If your question is that's correct. That we were one group, and then we separated ourselves from
so
them.
You were the newer group that separated from the older group. Is that correct?
Exactly so.
So it means that they were older. But your point is that you, the splinter group or the second group, have more members. And because you have more members, you should have a representative on the governing council.
Yes, and that is the norms and practices when it comes to labor. And that is what I have also quoted the relevant portion of the law. You understand? Labor Regulation 18, what do you call it? 207 1833 for you, LI 1833 for you.
Have you engaged the council or the GTEC? Have you engaged the leadership of GTEC on this?
This issue, when it came up, GTEC Director General, Professor Agyapong himself, wrote to the two unions, the leadership, and brought us to the table and said that he don't want any confusion and chaos in any university. And even whichever the case may be, we will still be one in the university. So let's settle the matter. But at the end of the day, we saw that the committee couldn't, submit its report. And if the committee has not submitted its report and the committee is not meeting again, we don't expect the regulator to allow some public university to submit names of minority group for you regulator to accept it and say that those groups must be thrown into office. Then why did you have to set up the committee, to look into the matter?
Do you have any suspicion as to how or why the regulator will select the older group, but the one you call a minority group over yours?
To be honest with you, the way regulator started, we were happy with him, but of the late where he allowed a minority to be shown in, it's where but we have difficulty understanding regulator why at last minute he has done that, and he has to answer, not me.
But so, I mean, there are rules around strike and embarking on strike, etc. Did you notify the appropriate persons, your employers, etc., before embarking on this strike?
Section 159 of the Labor Act, A and B. If you have the intention to strike, that is what you're supposed to use. And we did exactly so that anytime that the party there's a dispute and they have not been able to refer the dispute to an arbitrator, and they want to institute a lockout or go on strike, any of the parties will have to inform the other party by writing and then inform the National Labour Commission, which we did since 21st March. And the letter was delivered 24th March. And we never got any reply from Minister of Education, Minister of Employment, GTEC itself, Labour Commission, Vice Chancellor KNUST, Registrar KNUST. We never got any response from any of them. Hence our action.
Very well. So now that you're on strike, what's happening? What's next for you? Have you heard from GTEC? Have you heard from your sector ministry? Have you heard from anybody? Or is early days yet?
To be honest with you, before our meeting today, we had a letter. We had information from the GTEC, which it was followed with a letter that we should attend a meeting today. But looking at where we are coming from and other things, but then we said that we will not be able to attend the meeting. If the meeting is rescheduled to Friday, fine. And then they said that they cannot. Now I understand that they said the meeting is supposed to be on the 7th. They said that they also not get a time. On the 7th, they now have to discuss the Director General. You understand? But even that letter that came, there was no, agenda or agenda of the letter.
Very well. We wish you the very best. Thank you so much, Charles Atta, Chairman, Tertiary Education Workers Union of Ghana, TEU GH, KNUST, for speaking to us. Eyewitness News on 97.3 Citi FM. Now, the state has filed 11, has charged, as press charges against former National Signals Bureau boss Kwabena Edubuahin and his wife Angela J. Boating and two others. 11 charges in all. The couple was arrested on 20th and 21st of March over the alleged diversion of state funds for private gain. According to a charge sheet cited by Citi News, they allegedly stole 49.1 million of the state's money. The other accused persons are Mildred Donko, a former bank relations officer to the couple, and Advantage Solutions Limited, a holding company reportedly used to commit the crimes. Kwabena Edubuahin and his wife are said to have used the 41.9 million to acquire properties in Accra, Kumasi, and London, as well as a fleet of luxury vehicles, with the active support of Mildred Donko. Now, the Attorney General, we understand, is set to address the media on perhaps this issue and a number of matters, and we are still waiting for him to deliver that address to the media or to the nation. And our correspondent, our court correspondent, Hansen Agyapong, is at the event, and he joins us on the line to help us appreciate what's happening so far. Hello, Hansen. Good evening. Welcome to Eyewitness News. We were told that the press conference would start around 4 or 5, but it's past 6. What's happening? Are we having a press conference at all today?
So we heard of information about the press conference yesterday. It was postponed to today at 1 p.m., later postponed to 4 p.m. But about 2:30, we saw copies of the charge sheet against Edward and his wife and 2 others. That is one of a company owned by Edward and his wife. And so later we have indication that the Attorney General's office is hoping to arraign the accusers before addressing them. That is the reason for the delay in addressing the press. The accused persons have been arraigned, 11 charges against them. Dubuahin alone is facing 7 of these charges. And then the other, his wife is facing a charge of conspiracy to commit crime. He and his wife, his wife is facing collaboration to collaboration of helping Dubuahin to use a public office for private gain. And then the other accused persons together are facing conspiracy charges in crimes such as money laundering, as well as using public office for gain and defaulting by false pretense. And so pleas have been taken. They have pleaded not guilty to the charges. And the lawyers for Edward and his wife, and as well as that two accused persons, had requested for bail from the court. The state objected to the bail application for Edward, saying that since he was granted bail, he had been trying to interfere with investigations and witnesses as well in the matter. And so they were asking the court to deny him bail. The judge presiding over the case has decided to push the case to Friday.
Very well. All right, Hansen, thanks so much. We're crossing over right away to listen to Dominic Ayeni, who has just started addressing the press. Let's listen.
7 million United States of American dollars. At today's exchange rate, this will be 108,500,000 Ghana cedis. That is the cost of one Agenda 111 hospital going into one person's pocket. I can now confirm that at the conclusion of our investigations, that is exactly how much he stole from the taxpayers of this our beloved country. In consequence, and in exercise of the power conferred on me under Article 88 of the Constitution, I have today filed charges against Mr. Dubuahin, his wife Angela Agyapong, one Mildred Donko, a former employee of UMB Bank, who resigned just in time to join in the criminal enterprise, and a company called Advantage Solutions Limited, a holding company owned by Mr. Dubuahin and his wife, which received a substantial portion of the funds and was used as a conduit for funneling the funds into other companies owned by them. These other companies are Vertex Properties Limited, Vertex Solutions, and of course the famous BNC Communications Bureau Limited, which was, if you remember, that was a vehicle that was used to steal the 49,100,000 Ghana cedis from the national security accounts. Based on the evidence on the docket, we have charged Mr. Dubuahin with stealing, 3 counts of stealing, 1 count of defrauding by false pretenses, another count of willfully causing financial loss to the state, another count of using public office for profit and money laundering. His wife, Angela Agyapong, has been charged with conspiracy to steal, collaboration to commit the crime of using public office for private benefit or profit, conspiracy to commit money laundering and money laundering. In the case of Mildred Donko, we have charged her with 2 counts of conspiracy to commit money laundering and money laundering. The same goes for the company known as Advantage Solutions. Ladies and gentlemen of the press, my fellow countrymen and women, I am keenly aware of the criticisms that were leveled against me after my March 2025 press conference. In particular, some of our compatriots accused me of judging Mr. Dubois and his dear wife prior to filing charges, and others opined that what I said of them should have been left to the courts to decide. I respectfully disagree for a number of reasons. The first is that I said nothing at that press conference that suggested even remotely that their guilt had been predetermined. Far from that. As the Attorney General of this Republic, I am the first to acknowledge that no matter how watertight the evidence of a prosecutor is, the accused is still entitled to be presumed innocent until proven guilty. That is a principle enshrined in Article 19 of our Constitution. And I cannot go against that cardinal principle. The second reason why I disagree with those of my fellow countrymen and women who think that the matters are dealt with at these press conferences should be left to the courts is that the constitutions require that we act, at least in public office, with probity and should be left to the courts. Is that I see these press briefings, including the one I'm having today, as a way of breathing life, probity into those cardinal values, accountability of our Constitution. I see these press briefings, including the one I'm having today, as a way of breathing life into those cardinal values of our Constitution. Lastly, I think that there is absolutely nothing wrong with a prosecutor exhibiting confidence in his case. With particular reference to the case under review, the diligent investigations by the Economic and Organized Crimes Office led by Mr. Raymond Archer gives me a high level of hope and confidence that, all things being equal, I will obtain convictions on most, if not all, of the charges that I have preferred today. Besides the documentary evidence involving bank statements, deposit slips, check numbers, and so on and so forth, we have persons with deep knowledge of the matter who have agreed to testify at the trial. Persons with very deep knowledge, primary persons who were close to the action, have agreed after having been, interrogated, about what they know, they have agreed to testify in this matter. Ladies and gentlemen of the media, my fellow countrymen and women, between March 2025, when I announced the arrest and detention of Mr. Dubois and his accomplices, and now, there has been some speculation as to whether my press conference was yet another piece of political propaganda. Some media houses actually claimed that I had been deceived into holding the press conference and that I had in turn misled His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, the President of the Republic. Let it be known that unlike some presidents in the past who were misled, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama is on top of his brief and cannot be misled. Indeed, if any appointee would mislead the President, it would not be his Attorney General. So everything I have told the President, I have evidence to prove it, and the docket is replete with documentary evidence of the wrongdoing that has been investigated. Having said that, I wish to let it be known that the delay in filing charges came about because our diligent investigation team came across yet another scheme hatched by Mr. Edubohin, this time involving Ghana Water Company Limited. This criminal enterprise involved the purported provision of secured internet services to Ghana Water Company Limited by the erstwhile Bureau of National Communications, now National Signals Bureau. The contract document showed that Ghana Water was to pay BNC, that is the national BNC, the sum of 650,000 Ghana cedis every 2 weeks for secured internet services from BNC, that is the Bureau of National Communications. However, for purposes of the payment, Kobina Edubohin provided the account details of his company, BNC Communications Bureau Limited, to Ghana Water, which religiously paid for the internet services. In other words, every 2 weeks when 650,000 Ghana cedis of money from Ghana Water left the bank accounts of Ghana Water, instead of going to the National Signals Bureau account, it went to the account of a company known as Bureau of National Communications, owned by Kobina Edubohin and his wife. Okay? And then they did what they wanted to do with the money. So for every month, Ghana Water paid 1.3 million Ghana cedis to Kobina Edubohin and his company, in exchange for internet services provided by the government. Because remember that the National Signals Bureau is a government agency. Now come to think of it, that the government agency is providing secured internet services to Ghana Water Limited, a limited liability company solely owned by the same government. And Ghana Water is spending money that they do not have, okay, to pay for internet services at that cost, 1.3 million Ghana cedis every month. In fact, the figure rose to 1.5 million Ghana cedis every month at the close of our investigations. Now, you remember that in 2020, Bureau of National Communications became National Signals Bureau. And so, because the contract documents stipulated that the payments be made to Bureau of National Communications, Ghana Water then demanded that the check payments be made to National Signals Bureau because of the change in the corporate identity of BNC. What then happened was that any time the check was made out to National Signals Bureau and it landed in the accounts of National Signals Bureau, Kobina Edubohin, as director of National Signals Bureau, would then immediately write a check to himself and transfer the money. From our investigations, you can see the movement of the money. Immediately it comes from Ghana Water, he signs a check and transfers the money into his personal company account. Now, today something happened in court. Counsel for the defense told the judge that whatever I had said was a figment of my own imagination. But of course, he is entitled to earn his fee. So he can say that. I have been briefed constantly and regularly. I've seen the evidence. And anybody who knows me knows that if I haven't seen the evidence, I won't be in front of you today. I've seen the evidence. The reason why some people have opted to testify is because they know that the case is watertight. So, counsel can continue to say what he's saying, but when we present the evidence in court, he will know that this is far from being imaginative. I have a very fertile imagination, but not in this case. So, ladies and gentlemen of the media, significant progress has also been made in other investigations being conducted in relation to the oral briefs presented to me in February. The investigations by the National Intelligence Bureau have been equally thorough under the direction of its Director General, Mr. Al-Hassan Kipo, and guided by the team in my office, most often led by the Deputy Attorney General, Dr. Srim Sai. In respect of the SkyTrain matter, we have completed investigations and will be filing charges hopefully next week. We have established that $2 million United States of American dollars was paid by the Ghana Infrastructure Investment Fund without board approval. The only persons who knew and acted on the payment were the former CEO, Mr. Solomon Asamoah, and the former board chairman, Professor Ameyao Ekunfi. Both will be charged next week. The docket's ready. We know the charges we are filing against them, so they will be charged next week. Some of the board members have offered to testify as witnesses for the prosecution, and I am considering their offers. And usually what I do is that when you offer to testify, I sign an agreement with you, and I immunize you from prosecution either today or in the future. So that is what I'm doing with those who are making offers. So if you are a whistleblower, you know of any crime that has taken place, please come. Even if you are marginally involved, I'm prepared to cut a deal, and then we can deal with the actual criminals. Now, the investigation in the National Service ghost names scandal has also progressed well, and we'll be filing charges against some of the persons involved from the first week of May, also, in a few days' time. Other matters such as National Cathedral, mathematical sets, senior high school Wi-Fi are also nearing completion, and dockets are being prepared for prosecutions to begin. Ladies and gentlemen of the media, my fellow countrymen and women, as your Attorney General, I wish to assure you that I have sufficient reserves of integrity to continue to perform the task assigned me by His Excellency, the President of the Republic. I have never stolen before in my life and have never received a bribe in public office. All those who have dealt with me know this for a fact, and the President would not have appointed me his Attorney General if he had questions about my personal integrity. That is why it came to me as a big surprise when the Honorable Member for Gomoa Central, the Honorable Kwame Asare-Obeng, aka A+, took to social media to make spurious allegations against me, calling me corrupt and a thief. Besides the name calling, the Facebook post in its totality was a palpable falsehood. I was never involved in the passage of the sanitation levy, as I was not a member of the Finance Committee of Parliament, let alone to be in a position to influence the composition of the membership of the committee. And I have the Hands Act as documentary support for what I'm saying. I have the votes and proceedings of Parliament. Unfortunately, I left them in the office. I think I have them here. Yes. So for the media, the report of the committee as well as the vote and proceedings are here. If you want to do some research on the matter that he alleged that I was involved and I channeled, I made sure that the membership of the committee was, changed, and then the monies from the sanitation levy were channeled to my friend, and so on and so forth. I'm not friends with whoever was the beneficiary of the sanitation levy. But interestingly, A+ warned me in the post not to do anything silly and that he will come after me if I did. That is laughable. First of all, I do not act silly because I think through the consequences of my actions, not only for my person, but also for others. That is what we were taught in Notre Dame Minor Seminary, and I am proud to say, without fear of any contradiction, that I have kept faith with that principle. Secondly, the threat is laughable because I have nothing to hide. I am reliably informed that his basis of saying that I am corrupt and a thief is that I took campaign contribution from a businessman at East Legon known as Dr. Sledge, and that he also knows the people who donated pickups for my campaign. Now, ladies and gentlemen, if receiving donations for your campaign or getting a pickup for a campaign is thievery or corruption, then there are 276 thieves in Parliament, including the person who was making the allegation himself. So, ladies and gentlemen, if A+ has any evidence of corruption or thievery against me, I am challenging him today to call a press conference and present the evidence or present it to the police to investigate me. In contrast, the media should ask him about the silly thing that I was about to do, which frightened him so much into making that silly post about me. He should be asked what he knows about the National Service ghost name scandal and related matters. If he can give truthful answers to these questions, then Ghanaians will know why he took to social media to do what he did. But let him be warned that in my hometown of Zorungu, we do not fear mud being thrown at us. On the contrary, we walk into the mud to deal with the person doing the mud slinging. And I am prepared to walk into the mud with A+. Because what I have about him and the National Service scandal, he should come and tell you. I'm challenging him. He should come and tell you, the media, and stop cowardly hiding behind social media to make baseless allegations against people who have worked hard to earn a reputation. So, ladies and gentlemen, I think I will end here. Thank you.
Issues. I believe will take questions. So let's go back to the stage.
We have made a decision to charge Mr. Kobina Idubuahi and other accomplices in the Ghana water scandal separately. Okay, so other accomplices in the Ghana water scandal separately. Okay, so in a few weeks, we'll be filing separate charges against him. And the amount of money in the Ghana water scandal is in excess of 62 million Ghana cedis. 62 million Ghana cedis. That Ghana water, that sometimes does not have money to pay for chemicals to purify your water, had to part with, purportedly for the provision of secured internet services by a government agency. That is what happened. I thank you very much for your attention, and once again, sorry for the delay in addressing you. I think we can now take questions unless you are satisfied with everything I've said.
Thank you very much, Honorable Attorney General, for that comprehensive briefing. At this stage, we will take questions from the media. It is already late, so I would urge you to be snappy about the question. We take the first set of 5 questions. If you have any question, please step forward. Ask the question. You are limited to 1 question, please, so that we can maximize the time. If you can allow me, you are not entitled to 5 questions. Yeah, I'm not entitled to 5. So please go ahead with your question. Yes. Are there any other questioners in the stands? No, you can stand here, please.
My question first off to the Attorney General has to do specifically with the demand of the Ghana Bar Association for the President to revoke the suspension of the CJs. I know that is not the main subject for which reason you are here, but there are those who will want to know specifically what advice you'll be offering to the president on that or what it is. But briefly, today the fourth estate report has come out that nearly 55 of your colleagues in government have not declared their assets, contrary to the specific directive that was given to the president for them to do so by the end of March, and they haven't done that. What exactly will you be doing that? And finally, on this specific case you talked about, having to do with the filing of cases, there are those who have suggested that you are waiting for the Chief Justice to be suspended so that you can file new charges, especially since the new CJ, the acting CJ I should say, has decided that all cases must come to him for him to specifically assign a judge, and the Citi will respond to this for me. Thank you very much.
Yes, I will handle the question on the asset declaration. It does not fall within the remit of the matters that the Attorney General has to do. So I would urge you to zone in.
Prosecuting him if he has evidence of these matters in relation to and then finally on the Ghana water scandal, which was level of 62 million cedis. Can you give us a bit more detail? Because in the case, we got names and other related matters. There are those who already want to draw linkages to persons present at the time when these deals were signed amongst many other things.
All right. Are there any other questions, please? Okay, so the Attorney General will answer these questions, after which any other set of questions will be taken. Thank you very much. Let me remind you, however, that the questions must relate to the subject matter at hand. Thank you.
Thank you very much for the questions. Now, there was a question about my waiting to start the prosecutions after the removal of the CJ. I don't know whether it was the Searchlight, Minister for Government Communications. I think Ken Kuranchi's paper is is it Searchlight? Yes. It was a Searchlight that said that Ayine is waiting, Ayine swears not to bring prosecutions unless the CJ is asked. No, there was no such plan or strategy on my part. We've been very, very diligent in our investigations, and that is what matters. The prosecutor's case is as good as the docket that is built. So all the weight was because of the fact that we wanted to build a good case, and that is how we are working. We don't care who is Chief Justice and who is not the Chief Justice. So for me, it is all about building a good case and taking that good case to court. Then also the issue of the Ghana water investigation and giving more details. Because of where we are at the tail end of that investigation, and as I said, I want us to file charges, separately against Kobina Eduboahin and some of the accomplices. So the investigators have cautioned, and I've taken that caution, that until such a time that we have filed the charges, we should leave out the details, because I have already told you in general outline what the scheme was like. All right. So it was about giving, Ghana Water secured internet services. The company with which the agency with which the contract was signed was a public agency. That is the Bureau of National Communications. However, when payment was being made, the payments went into the private, account, the account of BNC Communications Bureau Limited, a limited liability company owned by Governor Eduboahin and his wife. So that is an outline what the criminal enterprise was. And when we filed the charges, just like today, we filed the charges, and that the charges were accompanied by a summary of the factual basis of the criminal charges. We will be doing the same with the Ghana Water case. Then also, the question of the constitutionality of the GBA demand, that the suspension of the Chief Justice should be reversed, or that, I mean, the President of the Republic should reverse himself as far as the suspension is concerned. Now, as media people, you do recall that the same Ghana Bar Association issued a statement in which they said that so far the President and the institutions involved had acted constitutionally. They had not breached any provision of the Constitution. Okay? And that was my internal assessment of what had taken place. Legal counsel to the President and everybody who has been involved has been very careful to ensure that the Constitution and laws of this country are obeyed in every step that the President has taken. And we believe that he has not violated the Constitution. And there's no reason why he should reverse himself. The basis of saying that the President should reverse himself is that the President was exercising a discretion. And that in the exercise of discretion, the President has to be guided by rules in accordance with Article 296C. Okay? But the same Ghana Bar Association has ignored precedent. They've ignored the case of Ramford France and the Attorney General, where the same Supreme Court ruled that the absence of rules under Article 296C does not necessarily make the exercise of discretion unconstitutional. So unless they want the Supreme Court to reverse itself on that ruling, some people have argued that Ramford France and Attorney General was wrongly decided. So if they want the Supreme Court to reverse that precedent, which, by the way, also applied to decisions that were taken by His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, there were no rules formulated in accordance with Article 296C when His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo took the decision that the petition by Professor Professor Asare, okay, that the petition lacked merit. The Ghana Bar Association was in this country. They did not issue a statement saying that the President's determination was unconstitutional. So that is where I will leave the matter of the constitutionality of the demand of the Ghana Bar Association. Have I forgotten of any question? I've just to come up. Given the credence that was being given to what A+ said, I decided to state categorically today that the Facebook post was, first of all, a palpable falsehood, because everything that he said there never happened and never applied to me. I was never a member of the finance committee. I did not take part in any decisions and so on and so forth. What he talks about as evidence of corruption is nothing to write home about. But maybe he has something that I do not know. Now, when it comes to what to do, okay, I do know that he has not been interrogated. All right, I'm not going to presume anything. If he submits himself to interrogation by the NIB, I'm a fair-minded person. If there's no wrongdoing involved in whatever he did, I will stay off. So that is all that I can say for now. Are there any more questions?
Honorable, with everything that is expected of ORA, how willing are you to exercise your discretion in negotiating a plea bargain? Just in terms of supporting your case, you also do this challenge people out there for too. Would you throw a challenge to some of these people to come for this plea bargain? Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you very much. My name is Osman Abado from Radio Gold. My question is, how will government ensure transparency and accountability in contracts between government and agency and officials of government going forward after this issue that has happened? How is government going to do it going forward? Thank you.
Look, just a quick question on arguments made in court today. We know from our court correspondent that you were pushing for the bail of Mr. Dubois to be revoked. We don't have clarity on that yet. Was that application granted by the court? Because we got wind that there was surveillance which suggested some other things be done.
Okay, so on the first question of a plea bargain, I think on March, in the March 2025 press conference, I made it abundantly clear that the strategy that we have adopted is to have contemporaneous investigation of both the crime, that is a criminal enterprise, as well as the assets or proceeds of crime. So that is the approach that we are using. And that approach is because of oral. Okay? Oral is not just about accountability. Oral is also about recovery. And so, if from all indications, someone who has been, charged with a criminal offense, or in the course of investigation comes forward to say that they are willing and able to return the loot in exchange for a plea deal, which will mean, for instance, that either we let them walk away without, getting punished, either through a fine or a term of imprisonment, or instead of getting, let's say, 10 years in jail, we can cut it to 5 years in jail or 2 years in jail in exchange for a recovery of what they have looted. I am happy to do that. Very happy to do that, because that is the essence of oral, and that is what Ghanaians want. They do not want people to go to Nsawam and come back out of jail to enjoy the loot. Okay? So Ghanaians want persons who have looted state resources to return those resources. So the criminal conduct, we also trace assets. To brief the judge more comprehensively on why I am opposed to the bill for Kobne Dubois, and the judge will make a decision. Then, how do we ensure transparency in government contracting? The Public Procurement Act was enacted precisely for that purpose. Okay? Transparency and accountability in the procurement, process, and then also making sure that, what is offered to government all right, in exchange for funds, that the government is spending or a government agency